Hello. Welcome to Prism Break Out of the Pokeball with Pixel and Panic, and I'm Pixel.
And I'm Panic.
And today we will be discussing Palworld. So exciting.
Everyone's favorite game recently, and dominating Pokemon news. So it felt relevant to us.
Yeah,
And we figured that we should focus enough on it that we're gonna discuss it for this whole episode.
yeah, absolutely. And no one really knows this, but there's a lost episode out there. Because Panic
Yes.
and I know nothing about recording, and we had our gain at like 100%.
Yeah, apparently
So
gain is a thing.
yeah, gain is a thing, and you don't want too much gain. You want
Yes.
gains, but you don't want gain on your mic.
Right.
Well,
Everyone says that all the time.
yeah.
Okay, so before this podcast, you said you had even more opinions on Pal World, and I my opinions haven't really changed
Okay.
since we last talked about this. So I'm gonna let you jump into it
Okay.
and let us know if you played it. What do you feel about it? What's going on?
Absolutely. Basically, for those that don't know what Palworld is, it's a mix of Ark, what's it called? Survival? It's a
Yeah,
mixture
Ark
of Ark,
Survival,
Pokemon, Stardew Valley, Animal Crossing, and World of Warcraft, I guess.
and I also think it's a little bit of Factorio.
What's that?
Factorio is just a game where you can like set things um like you're almost building like a factory world, like everything's automatic, you just create a world of
Oh.
automatic things. It's kind of, if you're the kind of person who likes to create like some sort of like major Rube Goldberg machines, that's sort of the video game for you.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I kinda wanna try that.
Oh, Factorio is definitely a beautiful game, but Pal World is a more limited version of that because you can have everything work automatically with each other and whatever.
Yeah.
But okay, so that's the game. It's like it looks like an AI version of Pokemon
Yeah.
with guns. So everyone
With
calls it Pokemon with guns.
Pokemon with guns.
So go from there.
Well, so many people liked it and everyone raved about it. I remember our friend Brooklyn was like, "Pixel, Pixel, are you gonna play this game with me?" And I was like, "You know what? Sure, I'll try it. But before I try it, I'm gonna play it with my partner." So I played it with my partner who's like super into Minecraft and super into Ark, and he like beats every game on the planet. Like it's no big deal. And I think I may have jumped like too late into it, where I didn't really get to experience like the building of the base and like getting to know all the like not the Pokemon, all the, what are they called? Pals?
The
So
pals,
yeah,
yes.
what such a weird name. Hey pal. But
I mean, it works. I think the name
it
works.
does
Like a,
work.
it's your little pal.
Yeah, but it still sucks.
Okay,
But
sure.
the way he had it, I saw a meme, and I'm just gonna explain this meme before I explain what the game was like for me. So, a meme I saw was there are two types of Pal World players. The first one is a bunch of pals in the jacuzzi hanging out together with a pal eating breakfast with the player, and then a pal like playing ball or whatever with the player, like really wholesome, cute. And then the second type of player is basically enslaving their pals to do all of their bidding.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yes.
My experience with Power World was a second, where I came to my partner's base and it was just pals working and very clearly not getting paid. Like they were not there
Yeah.
voluntarily. So I was kind of taken aback by that. And then the fact that it's just very clearly copy pasting Pokemon and just changing the color scheme kind of threw me off. And I was like, is this very legal? I don't know.
Right.
It, like the whole idea of it just kind of made me feel uneasy, because you're over here whacking pals until they're unconscious. You hit them with the Pokeball or a Pal Ball, whatever it's called, until you can capture them. And then from there, you essentially enslave them to work on your base, and that's it. It's like, I just did not like it. I did not like it. It made me feel
Yeah.
so gross. I was like, why do people like this? Where are the guns? Like, I didn't see anything with a
So
gun.
so you're leading with that opinion.
Yes.
I mean, you didn't what do you mean? You saw you didn't see a
Yeah,
gun?
I didn't see a gun. What Pokemon have the or Pal has a gun?
Well, I think you have guns.
Oh, I have guns? Oh, I didn't have a gun.
Well,
I think I
I
had
think
a
you can
stick.
find guns.
That makes sense.
Okay.
Okay.
So whoever's listening to us probably thinks we didn't play this game enough. But here's my
Yeah.
thing. I didn't play it more than like a few hours, okay?
Mhm.
And I already have my opinion because of multiple things. I've also watched a bunch of playthroughs.
Mhm.
So you know this already, but I think the game feels soulless. And the feedback I've gotten from people who like Palworld is, "Hey, no, hold on a second. This game is still in early release." But name a game that's not in early release anymore. Everything is early release now.
Yeah.
So my thinking is like, no, I'll judge the game as it stands today, not what it can be in the future. Otherwise, Starfield, one of the worst games ever made, would would not, everyone will say, "No, it's still early release. You should not judge it." But it's a terrible game, and I have no faith that it'll be fixed.
Yeah.
Same thing with Palworld. I don't even really see a lot of potential personally. And again, that's my opinion doesn't matter here in the sense that the data it does not lie. People are loving this game.
Yeah.
But to me, it feels soulless. I'm not gonna in 10 years remember playing Palworld. I remember playing Pokemon because there's so much character and depth. I
Mhm.
remember playing Mass Effect. I remember playing Fallout. These are, all these games, Disco Elysium. These are all games that you remember to your core, like as if they're like core memories. And the thing I love so much about all those games is that feeling.
Yeah.
And with Pal World, I could already tell, like it's almost like a very shallow, superficial experience. Like you can have fun with it, but a lot of I don't play Animal Crossing. I struggle with Animal Crossing because I'm not that kind of gamer.
Yeah.
But people who play Animal Crossing also really connect with it. So you can have all these type of games where it's like a chore game or survival game, but have it be memorable.
Exactly.
And that's really what I noticed about Power. Is just I couldn't feel attached to anything or like you can catch people and that just feels empty. Like you don't feel anything. You
Yeah.
can catch Pokemon. Like for me, I fall in love with my Pokemon when I play with them in Pokemon games. Like I don't know why, but there's an emotional attachment, and I think early on in the playthroughs I watch, there's no emotional attachment. I think that's where the criticism is for me. Now, on another level, so that's the core element of the game that I don't enjoy. But on another level, it looks like AI Pokemon, right? Like when we see AI art, it stands out because it looks almost like it's going to be almost art. Like it's art, but something's off about it.
Yeah, like there's like one too many fingers or something.
Whatever it is, right? Like it just felt wrong, and um
Like it almost felt like someone went into ChatGPT or whatever AI generates
right, right,
images
right,
and they're like,
right.
"Give me a Pokemon that isn't a Pokemon." And like every rendition that it pumped out is what they put into the game.
But most of the pals do look like Pokemon to me.
Yeah, like
Like they look
Eevee is just like
like
the
an
shiny
abomination. Right, right. They look like
Eevee.
an abomination of Pokemon.
Like the wish
So,
version of a Pokemon.
right, that's the best way to put it. So with all that said, ultimately a soulless game that looks AI generated and just is it I guess soulless, AI generated and flat. That's really my entire feelings on the game.
Yeah.
I don't have a desire to play it. I want to play it because I want to be within the cultural zeitgeist,
Yeah, I don't
but
wanna
it
have
doesn't
FOMO, but I'd rather have
well
FOMO than not enjoy myself.
well, the miss what would be missing out on is all the conversations around Palworld. But
Yeah.
even without playing it, there's not a narrative that you're missing out on. It's not like some grand story, right? You don't have to experience it. I could fake that I played Palworld forever just by watching, 2 or 3 hours of someone playing it because that's pretty much the game on repeat.
Yeah, I think,
Whatever.
like, a
I
good example of this is, like, World of Warcraft, for example.
okay.
You get attached to characters. Like, even as convoluted as the lore is now, if you started in Burning Crusades, like, it's different than you starting in Dragon Isles.
As someone who knows nothing about World of Warcraft, I'm gonna say, "Uh-huh, makes
Uh-huh,
sense."
uh-huh. Yeah, it's like
I
people
don't
that
know.
play it now, like that just started within the last like 2 to 3 expansions are like, "This sucks," like it has no meaning, like it's just menial tasks, blah, 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 like you're just trying to complete
Right,
quests,
right.
you're just doing mythics. But if you've been playing since Burning Crusades, since Warcraft, like you get really attached to the characters, you know? And
Mm,
it's like someone trying to put out like a copy of World of Warcraft and
I see.
there's like no story. Like I kind of think of like RuneScape as
Okay.
that example, you know? Like you can play RuneScape and sure, it's fun, but there's nothing really attaching you to it. Whereas you can
Mhm.
play World of Warcraft and it's fun, and there's like a whole backstory that you get attached to. Like you learn to grow with the characters as they evolve. Like Sylvanas Windrunner, I cried. This is spoilers for anyone that hasn't played. I cried with her character arc in Shadowlands. Like what? She's a villain and I
Yeah,
cried. You know, it's
right. I
and
have
it's
no
the
idea what
same
you're
with
talking about, but
Pokemon.
I believe you.
Yeah, it's the same with Pokemon. Like I grew and I just started liking Pokemon, what, like within the last 2 to 3 years? And I
Right.
I did grow up with it as a kid. We just couldn't afford
Okay.
Pokemon cards. So I've never
Sure,
had
sure.
Pokemon cards up until now, but like the shows I've sort of watched, like I watched the movies when they came out and like you get attached to the Pokemon. Like every time Pikachu fell and got injured, like I would cry. But
No,
here,
stop.
like, it's almost like I'm fine hitting a pal until he knocks out so I can take him home. Like, you don't get attached. It's I don't know, it's
Yes, yes,
horrible.
yes, yes. No, I'm with that.
Rant
I
over.
fully no, okay, so closing thoughts for me is what I said. Soulless, shallow, flat, and nothing that I'll remember after turning the game off. And
So,
and I wanna acknowledge that if people are enjoying it, that is valid and real, and I love that for people. But for me, it's not a game I would recommend, it's not a game I want, like, to share with my friends, and it's sad, and that's apart from all the legal stuff, which we didn't even dive into, which it seems like Palworld could be in trouble with Pokemon based on what I'm understanding.
yeah.
So so that's kinda how I've been looking at it.
So, let me pose something to you.
Hit me.
Within the last couple of years, Pokemon has come out with 2 types of games, right? And this is something I was discussing with my partner. They've come out with their normal games like Scarlet and Violet, Sword and Shield, Diamond and Pearl, right?
Yeah.
And then they came out with Arceus, which is the game of all games. Like Arceus is beautiful, like the story development is amazing, character development is critical, like it's so good. And
Okay.
then we
Yeah,
have
I agree.
Scarlet and Violet and Sword and Shield, which just like it honestly just seems like a money suck. And like Big Pokemon was like, I need to pump out a new game so that we keep making money.
Well, now I know what I'm gonna
With
talk to you about in the next podcast because I fully disagree.
you fully disagree. Okay, okay.
I
So
do.
I think as much as I hate Palworld, I think it's good for
Yeah.
Pokemon to have competition.
Sure.
Because I feel like with these past couple of games, they've been getting kind of stagnant, you know, like it's the same mechanics over and over. Like you go and you fight the gyms, you go and you fight this, you go and you fight the people on the road. But like there isn't a major story to follow like there is with Arceus, where you're going and you're helping the clans and you're trying to get back and you're learning who you are through a new world that you were kind of just thrown into, right?
Right.
You're filling out the Pokédex and like actually filling out the Pokédex rather than just looking in the Pokédex and seeing what you have. Like you're
Right.
contributing to something big. If they came out with more games like that, or even if they just made the graphics better in their games, I think it would be such a huge difference. And I think with this sort of competition and people kind of comparing it to Pokemon and giving it this much praise and putting this many hours into the gameplay, I feel like it kind of lit a fire under Big Pokemon's ass, for lack of a better word. Um,
Mhm.
and hopefully pushes them to make better content for their loyal fans because honestly, it's getting kind of stagnant.
I hear you, but I disagree with you on so many levels.
Oh my god. Okay, tell
And
me.
again, I want to talk about that on the next podcast.
On the next
And
one? Okay.
I can spend an hour talking about this. So what we're gonna do here, Pal World, closing
Sucks.
summary. I think it's soulless, flat, shallow. You think
I think it's soulless, flat, shallow, kind of like a indentured servant RPG.
yes, and like it's gross. It feels
It
gross.
does. Yeah. But I think it's a good competition for big Pokemon.
Right, which I disagree with you also. So
Okay.
let's call it for this episode. Next episode, we will dive into why you and I agree on so many things on the Pokemon games.
Okay. Wonderful. I'm looking forward to it. I'm so curious
Okay.
cuz I thought you would feel the
Well,
same, but apparently not. This
well,
goes to show you
yes.
you don't really know people. I'm just kidding.
Oh, shut up. So we will discuss this on the next podcast, and we should hold off
Okay.
so that it's a surprise to you what my opinion is.
Wonderful.
So with that, we will say goodbye and thank you for listening.
Yeah.
And hopefully we didn't upset you if you love Pal World. Like I said, it's valid and good that you love it, and entertainment for itself is great value. So not
Absolutely.
like the Walmart
And if
brand.
you guys agree or disagree with us, please let us know in the comments because we'd love to see everyone's opinions. Obviously, I mean, as much as I would love it, Panic's opinion and my opinions aren't the only ones in the world. So if you have,
No
yeah,
way.
if you have your own reasonings as to why you love or even hate Pal World because, everyone feels strongly, please let us know. And I think it'd be like a good episode for the future to kind of go over everyone's points.
So to argue with
Yeah,
the
argue with the
comments.
comments, my favorite thing.
No, no, but also see who agrees with us. All right. So with that said, thank you everyone. And before we wrap up, you can find us at Pixel and Panic on Instagram.
Mhm.
Our website is www.pixelandpanic.com.
Yeah.
And we have a Discord that we'd love to see you at. And we'll see you on the next episode.
Yeah, absolutely. Goodbye.
Bye.